Right, so basically I've bought myself another car. Visually you can see it is a bit of a shed, but mechanically it's actually spot on. So we'll get on with the intro and I'll see you in a bit. Right, so those that follow me on Instagram would have noticed that I put a couple of bits in my story over the last few days about Audi S4s, because I like Audi S4s. I love the earlier one, like the one before this. I think that was the B5 RS4. They were a V6 bi-turbo engine, proper powerful, tunable, and they were a bit more nimble than this. They were more like, they're almost like an S3 saloon. They were a smaller body with obviously a boot lid at the back. This S4 come out, so this is the B6, this is a new shape car at the time. It come out of a 4.2 litre V8 naturally aspirated engine, which was very much in theme with cars at that time. Now, the first thing you look at when you see this car is, of course, the black wing. Now, the great thing about this car is it doesn't just have one black wing, it's actually got two black wings. So that is the wrong colour to have your wings. But the reason why it's got two black wings is because I'm told the previous arches were completely rotten, so the fella that previously owned it decided to buy new arches, and he intended on getting them painted, but it never happened. So that's definitely something that's going to be happening whilst I've got this car. Now, something else you'll notice as well, if you look up a bit closer, the paintwork on this bonnet is absolutely horrendous. That needs sorting as well. Probably end up blowing in the front bumper as well, because it's been a nice fresh front end. Audi as a brand, they seem to be the only real brand that have pulled off doing sports cars as estates. Now, obviously, I'm an RS6 owner, and like M cars, I'm currently about to build this E46 M3 Tourer. It's going to be a nice car. BMW never braved it when they created the E46 M3. Don't know why, but Audi seem to always pull it off, don't they? So it's a good looking car. The silver accents, like the silver mirrors, the silver trims. The S4s have got like these side skirt type things on the bottom of the doors there. They look good, but I love all them little features, even the roof bars at the top. I've mentioned that with my RS6. I love little touches like that. It just gives the car a lot of character. Now, as you come around the back, we've got a couple of exhausts at the bottom, one on each side. It's obviously a V8, so it sounds like nearly swore then, a beast. Some silly billies, stuff like that, I don't know. Rear wiper delete, I don't like that sort of stuff personally. I like to keep things as original as possible, and whilst we're on the subject of keeping things as original as possible, when I first saw this car, I thought that is an Audi A4 with S4 bits on, which would be quite cool. Yeah, an Audi A4 with S4 bits on it. It's not actually an Audi A4 with S4 bits on it, Calv. It is an S4 with Audi A4 bits on it. So these wheels, I don't know what the story is behind why these wheels are on this car, but it should have the 18-inch S4 wheels on it. They are basically almost identical to the B5 S4 wheels, but they're 1 inch bigger. If anyone watching this video has got a set of them S4 wheels, I'm definitely interested in buying a set of them wheels. So straight away, like I said, front end needs painting, wheels need doing, overall tied up, definitely needs a good mop and polish, but other than that, mechanically it is spot on. We'll talk about the mechanics in a sec. Obviously I'll get it started and we'll go for a drive, but yeah, interior, let's quickly talk about that. Steering wheel, that's a nice touch. Someone's had the whole wheel retrimmed, like a bit of Alcantara at the bottom, bit of leather around the outside. We've gone for these sort of thumb imprints on the wheel as well, and then red stitching. That's quite nice, I like that. Although it ain't standard, I do quite like that as a theme or a touch inside the interior of a car. Something else I've done, RS4 gear knob. Now again, I actually, as much as I moan about things being changed, I really like that as well. Audi seem to put a bit more effort, I would say, into their interiors over BMW. Is that a fair thing to say? I think that's a fair thing to say. Even like back in these times, The Recaro seats, very nice, they look good, they hold you really well. The proper carbon fibre dash inserts, that all looks quite premium, and the overall, just the feel of the interior just feels quite nice. What else can I say? Big service history file there. That there is my chicken and rice. That's not going to be going in the car, but obviously the idea of this car is I've bought it to sell it. I'm not going to be hanging on to it. I've just bought it as a bit of a thing to tidy up and sell. Let me just quickly get under the bonnet, show you under there. This is the party piece, guys. This is the party piece. Open the faded bonnet. There we go. 4.2 litre V8. When I first saw this car, I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to supercharge it or turbocharge it or just do something to it. They're not very tunable because they're obviously naturally aspirated, but it'd be great to get some big power out of this. I'm not going to be doing that. Like I said, I just bought it to sell it, but even if I wanted to, doesn't look like there's much room under that bonnet to get anything else under there, does it? It's like that engine's wedged in there like a I've got some analogies, but I won't say them. But yeah, the little red touches on the engine there, all looks very nice, isn't it? Very, very modern for its time. Big engine producing 344 bhp. Now, that engine, they put in a lot of cars. It was in the RS4, the Audi R8. There's obviously differences between the engines because I think the R8s and the RS4s are about 415 bhp, there or thereabouts. But that is the engine that was pretty much in loads of cars, and I think they've overbuilt too many of them, and they've begun chucking them in the later Audi S5. They must have thought, shit, we've got too many of these bloody engines, what should we do with them? Well, we'll just stick them in the S5. And to be fair, they're a good engine, all right? So what I'll do, let me just jump in there a sec. Oh. I can actually smell my chicken and rice. It smells bloody good. But the reason why I wanted to get this car on my channel today is because I love things that are good value for money. Like even my watch, a lot of people comment on my watch, right? That watch there, it's an Omega Seamaster, a bit beaten up. You notice I wear it in all my videos. I don't have a Rolex. I'd love to have a Rolex, but a Rolex is a lot more money. I don't think it represents great value for money. I will definitely get one at some stage of my life, don't get me wrong. But that watch there, I bought it second-hand for 1,400 quid. That was a bargain, right? And I wear it all the time, and it is a really good watch, right? This Audi S4, not really comparable to my watch, but they start at about £4,000, and I think this is a seriously good car that ticks a hell of a lot of boxes for not a lot of money. And now I know a lot of us, like petrol heads, we look for value for money, we look to get the most we can for our money, and I thought this is a perfect example of getting lots of car for not a lot of money. So what I'll do is I'm going to get it started, go for a little drive in it, explain a little bit more about it, and yeah, maybe show you what it's like. All right, so let's hit the road. Just sounds so good, doesn't it? Even like when you rev it, I don't know if you can see that through the camera, the whole car just bloody wobbles. It literally sounds like an R8. I'm not sure if it's got an aftermarket exhaust, I don't actually know. I suppose if I had the time, I could flip through this massive file of history and find out that it's had quite a lot. It's got 3 keys, which is quite a cool touch, and it's got a bit of Audi service history, a few stamps in the book, so that's all good. It's done 117,000 miles, by the way, so the mileage ain't bad. Yeah, let's go for a drive, yeah? Surprisingly nimble for a big car, and I even say that about my RS6. Audi seem to pull that off. They seem to build a big fat estate car, but yet make it feel quite small and nimble. Not small and nimble, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but drivable, which you wouldn't think an estate car would offer you. They come as an auto and a manual. I personally wouldn't buy an auto because they seem to, like, automatic gearboxes from Audi at that period of time weren't that great. A common fault with the manuals, or say common fault, or a big problem with the manuals, is when the clutch wears out, it's a massive job to replace the clutch. Just like my RS6 replacing that one injector cost me a lot of money in labour. Because it's a V8, there's not a lot of room under the bonnet. A lot's got to come off just to fit a clutch, so consider that if you do buy one, the clutch has got to be good, all right? Clutch on this one's solid, so there's definitely no concern there. Now, where do I start, man? Start trying to flatten this bike rider. I'm not one of them people that dislikes people on bikes, by the way, but there seems to be a lot of them about today. Look, there's even more. Hello, bike guys. Hello, hello. Yeah. But where to start? Do you know what? I'm so impressed with the quality of this car. Obviously, when you drive a V8 just naturally offers a certain amount of quality, doesn't it? It feels solid, it roars nice, it purrs along, it does sound unbelievably good. That's a very good point. So yeah, it is impressive from that point of view. 344 bhp, naturally as well, a naturally aspirated engine takes a bit of time to wind up, but nice long gears, loads of power, loads of sound, and it delivers the power really well. Now what's really funny is I've just got out of the drive seat of my 2004 E46 M3. This is a 53 plate car. The B6 S4s were about from I think 2003 to 2006, then they facelifted them, by the way. I thought I'd just chuck that in there, important bit of info. But the E46 M3 of the time, which is the car that I just got out of the drive seat of, just doesn't feel as high quality. And obviously I'm a proper E46 M3 guy. I love E46 M3s. They are amazing cars, tick a lot of boxes, but I just feel like Audi seem to nail it with, they're just a tiny bit higher quality. Let me know your thoughts on that. I want to know if you think that's is that a debate, is that an opinion, is that something worth having a debate about? I just think that Audi seem to be a bit more quality. I'm a BMW fan though, so BMW fanboys, don't think I'm leaving you heading over to, oh, saying that I've got an RS6, so I'm on both sides, Audi, BMW, Mercedes. I love all German cars, but I just feel like that's where Audi are a little bit unique. They're a bit higher quality than BMW. Not 60 times, I actually ain't got a bloody clue. I did look, but I forgot. I'm a bit bad like that. I've got quite bad memory. But what I'll do for you, I'll put it on the screen now. There you go. Not 60 in that amount of time, it's not bad at all. But what else am I going to say? Let's get out on this wonderful road. What I was going to say is, I think a lot of you are going to be watching this video thinking, would an Audi S4 work for me? Is that a car that I would use in my daily life? Now, if you're doing a lot of miles every day, obviously you've got to consider fuel economy. To me, this won't seem bad because my RS6 is horrendous on fuel, so this will be a dream on fuel in comparison. But obviously if you're running a 4-cylinder car, then you might want to consider, if you're going to double the engine size, it's going to be a bit more juicy than your average car. But that aside, if you buy the right car, this has been well maintained. Not trying to sell it to you, go and buy one of the other ones on the internet. There's a good few available. They come as a saloon, an estate, and a convertible. I've had a convertible, look amazing, bit of body roll as you can imagine. But either or, whichever one suits you, I just think they're a great car for the money. And like I said, that is the main reason for me wanting to do this video, because I have lived a life where I've had to work bloody hard for my money, and when I've got money, I look to get as much as I can for that money. And I'm not the type of guy to walk into a showroom and buy a car brand new. I would love the experience of doing it, if I'm honest. It would be great. It will probably happen one day, a bit like me talking about the whole Rolex situation. That will definitely happen one day, but there's a time and a place and a stage in life where stuff like that happens. I don't feel like I want to go and buy a brand new car, and I do always feel like that I'll always appreciate cars that are good value for money. And a lot of the cars that you see on my channel they do represent that. I've just had an old Golf GTI come in. I might do a video on that. I've had a lot of messages on Instagram asking to do a video on that. I think I'm going to do a video on that because that was another car of my time that I used to love and I always wanted. And we've actually got quite a nice 1.8T GTI Mark IV in at the minute, so I might get that up on my channel at some point soon. But I'm going to keep this drive short and sweet because I'm on my way to work now. Got quite a bit to do, but just wanted to cover the fact that this S4 come in. Mechanically, you can see it's a lovely car. It drives spot on. The RS4 gear knob's a great move. It actually feels so much like an RS4. Like when I drive it now, if I could drive it, if it was possible to drive it with my eyes closed, I'd be convinced that I'm driving an RS4. Even performance-wise, I might get hammered for this in the comments. I haven't driven an RS4 for a long time, but it don't feel too different to an RS4 at all. But interior finish, lovely. Seats look amazing. The drive of it, how rigid it feels, how nimble it feels, the way it delivers power, the amount of power, the V8, all these factors. Put fuel economy aside for just 1 minute and soak in all the qualities of this car, because it does tick a hell of a lot of boxes. I'm going to end the video here. If there's anything on my website that you want to see me do a video on, I have got a lot of projects coming up. So I've got plenty of content anyway, but let me know, have a little browse and let me know what you think. And when I get this car done, if you want to see a video on it when it's complete, once I've had it tidied up, I'm happy to do that. Let me know if you want to see it as a finished car. It might sell immediately as it is, we'll see what happens. If anyone's got a set of Audi S4 wheels for this car, the 18-inch ones, give me a shout, man. I'd love to put a set of proper wheels on this car because it will just sort it right out. But more than anything, give me a follow on Instagram, because I will get pictures of it on my Instagram once it's all done, alright? So thanks for watching. Definitely hit the like button if you like this video. Hit subscribe if you're new to my channel, because I upload a new video every single Wednesday and Sunday at 6 o'clock. It ain't sales talk, it's real. I upload a video every Wednesday and Sunday at 6 o'clock. I've been doing it for over a year now, so there's a good reason why you should hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in my next video, alright? Bye. In the next episode of Diary of a Car Trader, I buy another E46 M3, and the explanation to why I buy that car will be coming in a video on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. I'll see you then.